New forms of competition have also recently emerged in the form of electronic books, such as the Nook, the iPad and Amazon's Kindle. This year Amazon announced that it now sells more ebooks than paper books, with 242 ebooks sold for every hardback book it sells.
An incident that summed it up, Kindle, to me, was I was trying to price up a children's pop-up Titanic book. And when I checked the price on Amazon, the big window opens saying, would you like us to contact the publisher so that this could be put as an ebook? And I was thinking, a bit difficult to make a pop-up book an ebook. There are certain things which just won't transfer and be successful. And photography especially, and art, because you're looking at a backlit screen, it's a completely different image. And there's still the fact of the physical nature of the book itself.
I'm concerned by the presence and the growing presence of e-readers, simply because of a very deep-seated love for tangible books and that particular format of reading and my experience of literature. I think it is and will have a huge impact on the book-selling industry, but whether or not that will just negatively impact on book sales, or whether it will just mark a new divide between e-readers and books as more separate entities, and people will tend to see them as separate things, I don't know.
I prefer to have a book in my hand rather than on a Kindle or an iPad or something. I think it's I think there's something very nice about being able to turn the pages and keeping the book.
I would suggest anybody who takes a Kindle on holiday is going to find it very difficult balancing on their nose to stop the sun getting in their eyes, whereas a book folds beautifully over the face.
The great changes in the relationship between the public and the publishing industry, made possible by the internet, have dire implications for bookshops, as consumers are increasingly able to find their reading material elsewhere.
The publishers are offering ridiculous discounts to supermarkets and Amazon, which isn't a good idea, not for bricks and mortar bookshops. And also those bookshops themselves, their business plan seems to be based on competing with those very supermarkets and Amazon, which doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
You're obviously going to lose because Amazon have all sorts of advantages, which are too numerous to mention, and supermarkets really don't care because it's not their main issue. So why compete with them? And that seems to be the problem.
What publishers fear is that the future of the paper book is dependent upon the buying habits of the generation of baby boomers, the children of which already consume 78% of their news digitally and for free.
Like the way that the convenience of sending an email almost romanticises the process of writing a letter. I think the convenience of being able to buy a book online from Amazon almost in a way has romanticised the process of walking into a bookshop and buying a book, having the tangible experience of talking to a person and touching a book and going into a shop. It's really brought about the difference between that experience and the experience of buying something online. It's a very, very different thing. Mm-hmm. And quite conspicuously so, as Amazon becomes this entity that it is. So it definitely is an issue, and it definitely is a huge competitor. But we haven't seen, it's not affected us massively negatively, I don't think. The customers that we have are incredibly loyal, and they love us for what we are, and those differences and those strengths have been made more profound. It's a shop with many strings to its bow, really, and not just a place to come and buy a book, it's a place to do many things. The cafe upstairs has really brought a different element to the shop.
Having sometimes people just come for the cafe, but then when they're in the cafe they then get drawn to the books, and then both of them ends up kind of going hand in hand. So absolutely, it is a lovely fusion actually, because you can come to enjoy the coffee, you can come to enjoy the books, you can do both. It's a lovely atmosphere, you can see a lovely book sitting there on the shelf, and then before you know it they'll be off downstairs buying books.
Brighton's successful bookshops are currently surviving through a mixture of customer loyalty, book launches and author events, as well as through the retail of other goods, from posters, postcards and local artwork, to tea, coffee and cakes. Creating a stimulating browsing experience has never been so important, particularly for new bookshops who are less able to compete with Amazon and second-hand bookshops. In the short term, rental rates are a pressing issue for second-hand shops, while the recession chiefly impacted new bookshops. Longer term, e-readers will undoubtedly alter reading habits significantly. Is the book doomed? And could dispel the end for bookshops altogether?